Week after week, heroin continues to make headlines.
Overdoses are all too common, and dealer arrests have become the norm. Right now, there are about 31,250 people incarcerated in Missouri. Many of them struggle with alcohol or drug abuse problems. KRCG 13's Meghan Lane spoke with two mid-Missouri heroin dealers behind bars.
That first feeling, you like, oh, man, I feel great.
After the first time Jihad Thomas tried heroin, he was hooked, his life in a downward spiral. Surrounded by barbed wire, he spent the last 20 years on and off behind bars. That's more than half of his life.
I started back, selling heroin because it was hard to find a job. So I know this is the easiest thing for me to get money, so let me start back doing this.
His latest arrest was in 2010 during a drug raid in Rolla. He was charged with possession of heroin with the intent to distribute. It happened within 2,000 feet of a school. He was ultimately sentenced to 10 years behind bars. According to the Missouri Department of Corrections, after his release, he'll be just one of the 15,400 people on parole and 34,600 on probation who need substance abuse treatment.
If I went to Rolla, St. Louis, anywhere you've been, and I said Jihad Thomas in there, would people know who you were? Were you a big dealer?
No, they would know who I am.
Why?
Because you said Jihad Thomas.
Because you're known by a different name. There. Are you willing to tell me what your name was on the street?
No.
No? You're not going back to it, though.
Yeah, but, okay, they called me D. It was an old name that I had, back in the days, D Money, but I just made it short for D.
Take a look at these mugshots from his multiple stints in prison, many of them a result of his heroin addiction. Instead of pictures from his son's football games or his daughter's birthday parties, Thomas has an array of mugshots. This one from 2005.
What was going on in his life?
Staying from house to house, doing anything I can to get high. Didn't care about, who I heard or anything, and stealing this and stealing that, and it was just really bad then.
If you could say something to the person you were in this picture, what would you say?
Wake up. Wake up. I was walking dead right there.
The imprisoned former Jefferson City heroin dealer we introduced to you Monday says we need to focus on the addict, not just the dealer.
You still can focus on the dealers or getting the drug off the street, but until you start getting people off the drug, it's not going to affect what's on the street. Somebody else going to step up. They're going to go find that drug. They're going to go find it. That's how addictive it is. It's a very addictive drug.
You still can focus on the dealers.
Thomas says educating the public on the deadly drug is imperative.
How can you tell me something that you don't have experience?
But the right person has to do the talking. The right person, he says, is a dealer or an addict.
They're more in tune with you because you know what you're talking about. You didn't read about it, you didn't hear about it. They let them see firsthand. This is what it'll do to you. This is what's going to happen.
Thomas says this time when he gets out of prison, it will be different. It's because he says he's different. But given his past, many could argue his future looks bleak. Actions do speak louder than words. He'll get the chance to prove himself in the coming months, but the statistics aren't in his favor. According to the Department of Mental Health, within 1 year of release, about 26% of offenders with a substance abuse problem return to prison. Meghan Lane, KRCG 13 News.
Jefferson City seems to be a stronghold for heroin supplies. Last year, the police department started educating the public with their HOPE campaign. HOPE stands for Heroin Overdose Prevention and Education. They also launched an aggressive enforcement effort. While they've seen a drop in reported heroin overdoses, there has been an increase in the number of arrests. In Boone County, the sheriff's deputies say they've seen a surge in the use after OxyContin became difficult to manipulate for injection. Drug detectives there say a lot of the heroin they see is coming from the capital city.